What's up, guys? It is Chris back with another watch video, and today we are looking at HVD, which stands for Hand Wound Vintage Designs. This is a brand that was started by the owner of RZE, or Risa, is a person who actually left Boulder Watches and started that brand. Those watches are modern watches. They are made out of titanium. This is more of a vintage inspired design, obviously with the name HVD, vintage being one of those letters in there. And you can see there is a lot of vintage inspiration in this watch. And specifically, from my eyes at least, I think you see a lot of Submariner 6538, so the Rolex Submariner, the original Rolex Submariner without the crown guards, large crown, thin bezel. I see a lot of that here. And then you get a plexiglass on here, which is domed and boxed, so you could see it definitely looks like a Rolex. Gets that profile as well. However, what they've done is they've put very large chamfered polished edges on the back of the case and on the top of the case. So it gives a little bit of its own flair. You get a riveted bracelet on here, again, looking like that Rolex. Screwed links, which looks nice, and then a single double deployant buckle, which with a very big logo HVD there. The dial on here is really beautiful. This has a green sort of fume dial, and then each one of them is sort of hand distressed. So you have these lines on there, which is done by hand, I believe. And then you have applied indices. The one on this dial is in gold, so they are in a gold tone with the hands and indices are in gold tone. And then they are filled with lume as well. Very thin bezel here, which looks really nice as well. This is plexiglass, as I mentioned. Right now you have a screwed-in crown. However, they are changing the dimensions on this just a little bit, and they are removing the screwed-in crown. You're getting 200 meters of water resistance, even without that screwed-in crown, so it's going to be a push-pull crown. 200 meters of water resistance. It's a 40 millimeter watch. It does wear a little bit bigger than that, and we'll show you that on my wrist in a few seconds. They say it has a 48 millimeter lug to lug. That 48 millimeters is just at the tips of the actual lugs, but if you measure from the actual end links of the male end links right here, it's about 53 millimeters, or a little bit bigger than that. And then the measurement currently is 14 millimeters thick, but once they add the non-screwed-in crown, they're going a little bit thinner. And that will be just over 12 millimeters, so 10 millimeters, not including that domed and boxed crystal, which is made out of plexiglass, as I mentioned. Now, this is hand wound, as I mentioned in the beginning through the name. You can tell that this is a hand wound watch, and you do get a Sellita SW210 in this watch, and it is obviously visible through that display case back, which is pretty awesome. And the display case back, I believe, is made out of sapphire and not out of mineral crystal, but I will double check that and put a comment in the description just to make sure that this is actually sapphire. And then that's the SW210, as I mentioned. It's basically an SW300, has very similar specs to an SW300. However, it is obviously a manual wind movement. The buckle, very nice on here. As I mentioned, it is a double deployant, single folding clasp. A lot of brands have been moving to this sort of style, and then you have a very nice chamfered edge, polished edge here. Everything is brushed, and everything feels really nice. These are faux rivets on the bracelet, so does feel nice. Everything feels really well made, really nicely finished. Very nice bezel action on this watch as well. Let's listen to that. Easily gripped, no play in there, and everything lines up really nicely. I just missed it myself, but everything lines up really nice and feels really nice. Very big grippy crown as well. I actually welcome the fact that they're actually putting a push-pull crown and you still get that 200 meters of water resistance, because some brands actually do that. Fortis is one of them. They get push-pull crowns and they get 200 meters of water resistance, no problem. And they do that with gaskets, so it's a triple gasket. It's just not actually screwed in. I believe that's what they're probably doing. That's what I know Fortis do. And the 200 meters is actually better to have 200 meters and a non-screwed-in crown than 300 meters with the screwed-in crown, because you're getting a hand-wound movement in here, so you will have to actually unwind it every time you want to actually wind your watch. You have to unwind the crown and then screw it back in, unwind it and screw it back in, and eventually you will actually wear out that crown, and the tube that you're actually screwing the crown into will eventually need to be replaced too, because you'll eventually thread that. So definitely not a bad idea. I'd rather have it that way. And I do like this watch a lot, and especially considering the price. I was very impressed when I heard the price, $399 for this watch at their initial offering. I know it's going to be going up and it's going to be like $500 and something. Now it's less attractive, obviously, at that price. I think it's really attractive at this price, especially considering the package that you're getting. You're also going to get like a leather roll and all that stuff. I've worn it a few times. And it's very comfortable, but it does wear bigger than 40 millimeters. I'm going to show you that in just a second, because today I'm wearing a 40 millimeter watch on my wrist, and you can see the lug to lug on this is a true lug to lug, so it actually wears pretty tight. I think it's like a 47 millimeter lug to lug on this watch. However, it actually wears like a 47 millimeter. Also, this tapers at the lugs. This does not taper as much. So it does wear a little bit bigger than this. This is a 40 millimeter watch. This is my Mito Ocean Star Tribute. Beautiful watch, beautiful bracelet on this one. But very quickly, and for a value purpose, I mean, this is getting a Sellita SW200 hand wound movement. And you know, the price is actually excellent on here, $399. That is a really good price. The lug to lug is big, so you could see. With that 53 millimeters, it definitely does wear bigger than the said specs. However, like I said, they're going to be making it thinner, so that'll make it wear a little bit smaller. And all in all, I don't think it wears big at all on my 7.5 inch wrist. I think it wears beautifully on my 7.5 inch wrist. I really like the look of this watch. The black dial looks like a Rolex. I think that's what they were going for. Obviously, that's not in any of the notes that they've provided me. That's just from my eye. When I initially saw it, I just looked at it and I said, wow, that looks like, you know, a Rolex Submariner 6538. Definitely in my opinion, but tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Really nice bezel action. Plexiglass, I think, will throw some people off. I would have liked to see a sapphire crystal on here. It does give it that vintage flair. For me, I always prefer to have a sapphire crystal just in case I scratch it. But the thing is, with a plexiglass, you could always polish it out, which is not a bad thing at all. It's way better than getting a mineral crystal, so I prefer that over a mineral crystal. And if that's what kept the price down a little bit, that is awesome too. $399, I think, is an excellent, excellent price on this watch. You get drilled lugs as well. No quick change on the actual bracelet, but you do get drilled lugs. So if you want to put this on a strap, and I'm sure this looks awesome on a strap, I definitely would like to see it on a strap. So maybe if I do a full review, or if I get a production model, I will do that. Like I said, this was lent into the channel, so this does need to go to the next reviewer. I have managed to wear it a few times, and I just think it's really good. The crown is big. It is also signed HVD. I don't know what the size of this crown is. Let me do a quick measurement. I think it's probably in the neighborhood of 7 millimeters, 7.4 millimeters on my caliper. So very, very nice watch. Beautiful. Let's do a very quick Lume shot, and then we'll wrap up the video. So Lume is good. Risa do pretty good Lume. This has great Lume. This is a really appealing watch at $399. I definitely would get on board on the early bird special. When this goes up, it'll be less appealing, but I still think it's actually a very good price for the package that you're getting. I don't know what the packaging itself will be like. He said that there's going to be a leather watch roll, so that's also nice. I always like a leather watch roll. Lume is good. The dial is beautiful. It has that scratched, like, sort of vintage dial. I'll do close-ups of all that so you guys can see. Thin bezel, domed plexiglass, really beautiful case. The edges on here, the whole thing looks really, really nice. Has that vintage feel like a Rolex Submariner. You get that faux rivet bracelet. I don't mind the faux rivet. I think it looks really good on your wrist. Screwed links, so it's very nice. And plus, you could see the Sellita SW 210 from the back, which is great, and that is, you know, obviously Swiss made, hand wound. Really like this watch, I have to say. I really do like this watch. I may have to pull the trigger on this one. I really do like it. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, help support the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.